Namaste. You know, several of our monastic students are beginning their second year of spiritual formation to become ordained members of our Sangha. And so as that second year begins, it's a year that's not spent as much in the books as it is spent with cultivating that teacher and disciple relationship that will ultimately lead the student deeper within themselves, where they'll find the answers, where the real growth begins to take place. And so one of the things that we are focusing on, particularly in this second year, is beginning to understand the purpose of the Dharma itself, and understanding that the purpose of our practice within the context of the Dharma is simply to give us a starting point and a means to achieve an end. Quite often we get caught up in this sensation and this delusion that our practice is everything, and that if people don't do exactly what we're doing, if they don't sit for a certain amount of time, if they don't do the practices of the Yidam deities, if they don't do the protector practices, then they're not somehow going to be as spiritually evolved or as spiritually awakened as we might consider ourselves to be. And quite frankly, that's nonsense. You see, one of the things that Zen Kando does that's different from other Dharma paths is that we focus entirely on the individual's needs. We meet that individual where they're at. Now, it's true that our teachers have to maintain a certain sense of keeping the vows. They have to maintain a certain integrity of the Dharma. They have to understand and fully embrace the Dharma. But they also have to understand that each individual, each sentient being, may have a different path on which to experience that Dharma. Lama Yeshe would say, when talking about things that change, and there was a period of time in my life when traditional monastic life was well suited to who I was. And it certainly has made me the person that I am today. But as I continued my Dharma journey, it became evident to me that the people that were entrusted to my care are the people who are not following a traditional path. The people that many other Sanghas might have cast aside because they didn't fit in. And so what we try to do with Zen Kando is embrace these unique and unexpected occurrences that happen in our lives. Many years ago, Lama Yeshe would tell me that we should cast aside the need for guilt and the need for anxiety and trouble, and that we should treat every one of these unexpected occurrences as if they were a meditation in and of themselves. And I never forgot that. And so when it seems that a curveball is being thrown to you, it's okay to get a little bit freaked out in the beginning. It's okay to experience those feelings that arise. But then we have to let those feelings go and gently say, these are just feelings. And feelings arise and they fall. They come and they go. And so we let these feelings just dissipate so that we can be truly alone with the experience. We can treat that experience as though it were a meditation. The experience itself is impermanent, just like those emotions. And so while that experience exists for that short period of time, we take the opportunity to sit with it. And each one of us has to look at those experiences as part of the journey. Those experiences, those unexpected events, are part of your spiritual practice, like it or not. You see, when we take 100% responsibility for our entire lives, that means that we recognize that every experience we've ever had, and every experience that we will ever have, had its origins in our mind. It's either the result of chaotic data that's playing on the subconscious level, the result of fears or beliefs that we might hold. It may be the result of attachments that we've not yet let go of. But every experience originates within us, within our minds. And so when we understand that, then it becomes incumbent upon us to recognize that we've chosen these experiences for what they can teach us. Some of these experiences are unpleasant. Some of them are very pleasant. All of them are impermanent. So as we begin this second year, that each student is going to begin to look deeply within themselves and discover what their spiritual practice is. In fact, the monastic students' first assignment in the first 2 weeks of our new scholastic year, new academic year, is for them to look at what their spiritual practice is right now, and to write a paper that's due on February 1st, in which they explain what that practice is. What does your practice encompass? What does it entail? How do you go through the period of a day? What are the things that you're doing to bring focus to your Dharma practice, to bring focus to your progression, so that you can ultimately arrive at the place where you realize your true nature as pure awareness, where suffering exists no more for you, and where you can work for the benefit of all sentient beings. So my admonishment that I'd like to share with everybody tonight is, as these unexpected occurrences happen in our lives, as these unexpected challenges or unexpected joys or unexpected visits, anything that happens that's unexpected and out of the ordinary, treat it as a meditation, because you chose these experiences for a reason. Nothing happens in our lives by accident. Nothing happens in our lives as a mistake. You know, quite often you hear people say, I made a mistake, but how often have you ever heard somebody say, I made a truth? And the reason for that is because mistakes are something that we fabricate in the subconscious mind. A mistake is an interpretation. It's a perception that has no basis in reality. But truth has its basis in reality. And so we're going through our lives and going through these experiences, uncovering layer after layer of perception, layer after layer, like an onion of delusion, until we arrive at the core of truth. And that's the purpose of your practice. So when an unexpected event happens, whether it's perceived as good or bad, it's a lesson. Namaste.